The people like Pelosi and the mealy-mouthed Democrats, they know the money is not going for the troops. It's going to corrupt carpetbagging pirates like Halliburton and Bechtel Construction and Exxon and Boeing and Lockheed and all these new private mercenary groups who started up, like Blackwater Security, whose torture experts were charred and hung from the bridge in Fallujah and all that. That is where the money going. It's all a big scam. This is what happens when you have an all-too-loyal opposition consisting of deal makers instead of leaders. Deal makers instead of leaders. I mean, Bill Clinton wasn't a leader. He was a deal maker. Gray Davis, he went down in flames because all he was a deal maker. And the same with Al Gore, the same with John Kerry, and on down the line, and some of them you've heard of, some of them you haven't. It ain't leadership, it's deal making. And it might as well, what do you mean might as well be? It is a one-party state masquerading as a two-party state. You can call them the corporate party, the Republicrats, whatever. But basically the way it works is that the Republicans openly stand for greed, corruption, pollution, bigotry, and war. While the Democrats stand for pretending to feel guilty about greed, corruption, pollution, and war. That is the difference between them. There's a really, really good radio journalist who used to be a Texas Agriculture Commissioner named Jim Hightower. I don't know if you can get him on the radio up here. He has a Hightower Lowdown zine that's really, really good too. But he suggested that to make elections more honest, and I think that's what apply up here too, perhaps, the politicians should require to wear all the logos of their corporate sponsors, just like race drivers and the soccer players do and all. That would make it more honest. Another one, sometimes even I am in favor of law and order, and I think this would be a great law, and you could have this up here too. Lying on the campaign trail, a felony. That would be a good one. Because right now, at least down where I come from, the main motive, especially of people who get sent clear across the country to try and bring home the bacon from Washington, D.C., and I will represent you and stand up for you, ha, 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 ha. The real motive is to get over there and then crawl around trying to get as many different shades of brown lipstick on your face as you can, to the point where you wind up looking like Ronald McDonald or even Al Jolson by the time you're done, because if you put in enough years of so-called service, it means that then you can become a lobbyist. Make millions and millions of dollars lobbying the same people you used to legislate with the week before to do more favors for oil, tobacco companies, and arms manufacturers and all. That's the way the revolving door works. I mean, a lot of crooked Pentagon generals and things the same way. You retire, you go on the board of directors of an arms manufacturer, start your own mercenary company, whatever. Brown lipstick, revolving door, which means I really, really lose my patience with people who, and then there's a whole school of thought down in the States saying, well, we're just going to have to bide our time and let Bush make things worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, because eventually things will be so bad, people will finally figure it out and come over to our side. And then Hillary will save us. You can't wait that long. You can't just put your head in the cement until 2008 when there's so many important things going on you can vote on in 2006. And just having 4 or 8 years of rule by Darth Vader crossed with Bugs Bunny is not going to solve the problem. And some of the things our supposed friends have been cooking up, and this is something to watch out for on this end if somebody tries it up here too. Repeatedly, there's been attempts in Congress to pass a law called the Media Marketing Accountability Act, which is way worse than those evil tipper stickers, the explicit lyric parental advisory warnings that are supposedly voluntarily put there by industry. This would make it a federal law enforced by the feds, that you would have, probably Homeland Security actually, that you would have to use a very detailed and very strict new rating system by law, and one size fits all for music, movies, DVDs, and games. Or anybody who didn't use the system, like me, products would automatically become illegal overnight. And then you have to wonder, who's going to rate the stuff, too? We're going to have boards of censorship who then have to review every single movie ever made, every single song ever recorded. Or does that leave people who put out their own DIY CD or 7-inch or something? Well, we don't have time for you, so I guess your stuff is illegal now. Unless you're on Sony, you might as well not even try. They know what's best for you. That kind of thing. Plus, people who don't use the rating system or don't use it strictly enough to satisfy some southern sheriff who wants to get his name in the paper or something, fined 11,000 American dollars per unit sold per day. Yeah. And the sponsors each year have been Senator Joseph Lieberman, Democrat who's even been photographed kissing Bush before, and he's trying to elbow his way into photo ops whenever Bush goes off on another war. You know, Al Gore chose him as his vice president in 2000, and that was a major reason a lot of people wouldn't vote for him. And the other sponsor is John McCain, the same guy, we'll get to that later, but McCain is a right-wing senator from Arizona who, because he sometimes publicly disagrees with Bush, I did already mention that he came out against all the torture and then turned around and voted for it and all. Anyway, he's the other main sponsor. He's probably going to be the one running against Hillary Clinton in 2008. The only good thing about that will be it'll be fun to watch them beat each other up.